Schultes along with Mac McCausland here at the McLeod Center as things get started for earnest in America's Renaissance Conference, the Missouri Valley Conference. We're anticipating another great year. Let's talk about the league overall. And first of all, how difficult this league can be, Mac, in the fact that you play 18 games in this conference. You squeeze it into a 7.5-week period. Sometimes you play 3 times in a week. That makes this conference in many cases more difficult than any other league, many of the other non-BCS leagues.
Well, certainly, because you've got less turnaround time in terms of either game preparation or if you want to put in new items through the year, especially this first week that you look at. All teams are going to play those 3 games, like we said, in 6 days.
We've already had a couple games over the weekend, and of course last week midweek, including the game that we've got here. But there's some big matchups early on, and one of those is coming up on Tuesday night as Missouri State, the Bears, Conzo Martin, trying to get a road win here and there, trying to win a Valley title. Missouri State has never done that. The Bears are the only team in the league that's never won a Missouri Valley Conference regular season championship, and they go to Creighton. And that will be an interesting game.
Well, you know you're going to run into 15 or 16,000 people, a new coach to Creighton, but not a new coach to the Valley when you look at Greg McDermott. And he brought the father-son combination, which, of course, hurt UNI because Doug McDermott, arguably the best freshman in the league, ended up transferring even before he played a game or getting a release of a tender to go play for his dad. And, of course, it's really helping Creighton. And, as we said, it's a bit of a minus for the UNI Panthers.
Yeah, Echenike now becomes eligible for Creighton, the kid that transferred in from Rutgers. You mentioned Doug McDermott. Antoine Young, curious to see how he'll transpire through Valley play, taking the bulk of the action at point guard, and then Kenny Lawson Jr. in the middle. This Missouri State team is intriguing, too, because if they can get some inside out, Kyle Weems is a terrific player and a guy that could be an MVP-type player in the league.
Well, I think Weems may be the best player. It's can he do it every night, and can he have the well-rounded game that he can produce? The problem is some nights it's just 4 or 6 points. Maybe the next night it's just 2 or 3 rebounds. And the biggest problem, he gets in foul problems for somebody that only plays about 26 or 28 minutes.
The most intriguing team in the league, though, could be Wichita State. You know, Mike DeCourcy, the Sporting News, somebody asked him a couple weeks ago of who could be this year's Butler, and he said Wichita State. I don't know if they can be this year's Butler, but they could be this year's Northern Iowa.
Well, I think they can be. The biggest question mark has to be point guard. Clevin Hanna, who was there for 2 years, and it obviously took, as everybody observed, 2 years for him to feel real comfortable in the system. Now they have to bring in another point guard, Joe Ragland, and I'm not sure he's ready to jump in and be the Clevin Hanna, so they've moved even their 2 guards over. Torrey Murray's been there a little bit, and Kyles has been there a little bit. So it's still a process in occurrence in terms of what they can do, but they got terrific scores at every position.
Yeah, and Kyles has shown up now. He can score, as you mentioned. Torrey Murray can, JT Durley can pound in the middle, and then that home environment. When you get 10,400 in there every night, that's a very, very difficult place to play. But they've also shown now the propensity to win on the road and win some big games. Their win at LSU, I thought, was a signature win for them, and they've only had the two non-conference losses. Kemba Walker goes nuts on them. He goes nuts on everybody, and then their loss to San Diego State is nothing to apologize about. So, again, Wichita State's has some interest. Finally, I want to ask you about one other team, and that's this Northern Iowa Panther team. Last year, 30-5. Their awesome win over Kansas. A team that's won this back-to-back. They look like they're starting to come together.
Well, you really have the UNI Panthers that have a new walk, a new swagger, a new confidence. And I'm talking from the coach to the fans to the entire city of Cedar Falls. You just see the team come out. They have a different feel. And when you beat Kansas, that changes, and it also helps in recruiting. But I think right now they are starting to find their particular roles on that team, what their defensive role is, what the offensive role is, and the Panthers are going to be tough. They're almost unbeatable at home.
This is a great league for fan interest. 5-figure crowds at several of the places every night. And you can also check in here on the website every week. We'll get you ready for Valley basketball play. For Mac McCausland, I'm Mitch Schultes. Enjoy the rest of your Valley week.